All right, let's jump right in. Today we're cracking open one of the most famous chess books ever written, Bobby Fischer Teaches Chess. And our mission is simple. We're going to demystify the game's ultimate goal through the eyes of an absolute legend. We'll see how his pretty unique method can make you a better player, like right now.
Wow. Okay, that is a huge claim, right? That's the very first sentence in the book. And, it's not just some marketing line. It's a promise. The book says it has a totally revolutionary way to teach chess. And today, we're going to see if it lives up to the hype.
But hey, let's be real for a second. The book is actually super clear about this. You're not going to finish this explainer and suddenly be ready to challenge Magnus Carlsen. No, the real goal here is something you can actually feel. By the end of this, you're going to understand the game on a much deeper level. And honestly, you'll be a way more dangerous player at the board.
So, who's the genius behind all this? Well, it's none other than the legendary, the brilliant Bobby Fischer. And to really get his method, you first have to appreciate the guy's complete and total mastery of chess.
I mean, just look at this timeline. His rise was absolutely meteoric. He learns chess at 6, and by the time he's a teenager, he's already a global sensation, winning the US championship and becoming the youngest grandmaster in history. So this isn't just some chess expert talking. This is one of the greatest chess minds of all time, breaking it all down for us.
So what's the big secret? What makes his way of teaching so different? Well, it's not just what he teaches you, it's all about how he does it. The whole book is built on this really specific, really powerful learning idea.
It's a technique called programmed instruction. So instead of making you read chapter after chapter of dense theory, the book gives you one tiny piece of information, one frame, and then immediately asks you a question about it. You have to solve a little puzzle right then and there. It forces you to actively engage with the idea, and you can't move on until you get it. It's just a crazy effective way to learn.
And right here, this is the key difference. Think about it. A normal chess book, it kind of just talks at you. You read a page, you try to memorize it, and you hope some of it sticks. Fischer's method talks with you. It's like having a personal tutor sitting next to you, who shows you something cool and then goes, "Okay, your turn, you try." It just makes the whole thing so much more dynamic, and the knowledge actually sinks in.
Now, Fischer zooms in on one single concept at the very beginning of the book, the one thing that really truly matters. We're not talking about complicated openings or fancy tactics. We're talking about the knockout punch of chess.
And there you have it, straight from the man himself. Everything else you do in a chess game, it's all just setting up this one moment. If you don't understand how to deliver a checkmate, and just as critical, how to avoid one, you don't really get chess. So here's the brilliant part. We start at the end. We start with how you win.
Okay, so before you can land a checkmate, you gotta understand what it really is. When a king is attacked, we say it's in check, but the game's not over yet. The game only ends when a king is in check and has no way out. And there are only 3 possible escape routes. 1, you can capture the piece that's attacking you. 2, you can block the attack by putting one of your own pieces in the way. Or 3, your king can just run for it, to a square that isn't under attack. If you can't do any of those 3 things, well, that's game over.
Let's look at this in action, because it makes it super clear. On the left, you see the white rook putting the black king in check. It's a threat, for sure, but the black king can just take the rook. Problem solved. Now look at the board on the right. It looks almost the same, but this time the white rook is protected by its king, so the black king can't capture it. It has nowhere to run, and there's nothing to block with. That right there is the difference between a jab and a knockout. That is checkmate.
All right, theory's one thing, but let's do this the Fischer way. It's your turn now. Time to put what you just learned into practice and analyze the board.
Okay, take a good look at this position. The white rook is checking the black king. So think about our 3 escape methods. What can black do here? Can the king capture that rook? Can it run to a safe square? Or is it completely trapped? Take a second and see what you think.
The answer is neither. The king can't capture the rook, because the white king is protecting it. And if you look closely, that one escape square the king might have had, it's covered by that little white pawn. All 3 escape routes are gone. That is a perfect, clean checkmate. See? You just diagnosed a game-winning position.
Okay, awesome. Let's build on that. Now that we get the basic idea of trapping a king, let's look at one of the most classic, most powerful checkmating patterns in all of chess. It's called the back rank mate.
So here's the setup. First thing to notice is how the black king is stuck on its back rank, trapped by its own pawns.
They're supposed to be a defensive wall, but here they're basically the bars of a cage. Meanwhile, white has lined up the heavy hitters, the queen and 2 rooks, all pointing like a laser beam right at that weak spot.
And now comes the brilliant move. White does something that looks totally insane to a beginner. They give up their queen, the most powerful piece on the board. The queen swoops down to the back rank and checks the king. Black has no choice. They have to capture it with their rook. This move is called a sacrifice. You give up something valuable to get something even better.
So why on earth would you sacrifice your queen? Well, it was to remove the guard. That black rook was the only piece defending that critical square. Now that it's been lured away, white's rook just swings right in, takes its place, and shouts check all over again.
And the pattern just repeats itself. Black is forced to capture that rook with their queen, but now look, all the defenders are gone. White's last rook slides down to the back rank, delivers the check, and there is absolutely nothing black can do. It's checkmate. Just a beautiful, unstoppable sequence of moves.
And just like that, you've completely understood a professional tactical combination. It's not some kind of magic, right? It's just a series of forced moves kicked off by a sacrifice that leads to a guaranteed win. This exact pattern has won tons of games, even between the best players in the world.
So let's wrap this all up. In just a couple of minutes, we've gone from the absolute basics of checkmate to a full-blown multi-move combination.
You did it now. The whole point of the game isn't just grabbing pieces. It's about trapping that enemy king. You know the only 3 ways a king can defend itself from an attack. And you've seen how a really simple idea, like a king trapped by its own pawns, can be the seed for a game-winning attack.
This is the heart of Bobby Fischer's method. By focusing on the knockout punch first, you build your entire understanding of chess from the most important concept outward. You are, right this second, a smarter, more focused chess player than you were 10 minutes ago.
So, let's end with one last puzzle. This position is from one of Bobby Fischer's actual games. It's Black's turn to move. Knowing what you now know about checks, about defense, and about landing that final blow, can you find the knockout punch that he played? Your move.